Hi everyone, in this video we will learn about function or method overloading, and please subscribe to the channel estudy.in if you have not already done so, and don't forget to click on the like button. Okay, so let's start. So firstly, we'll be revising a concept which we've done in the previous video. So here's an exercise for you. A function's parameter list is known as dash. So if you've watched the previous video, you would know what the answer is. So the answer is, it is a function's parameter list is known as its signature, isn't it? Method signature. So this is what the answer is. So what is a signature, method signature? So if you see this example here, we have a void area. Void is the return type, and int l comma int b. So this is the method signature. That means the number and the type of parameters. So here two parameters are being passed, and what is the type of each parameter? It is it is int and int. So the data type of parameters, two parameters, is int. So a function's parameter list is also known as its signature. Okay, so it's understand that we know what is the function signature is in order to understand what is function overloading. Okay, so this term should be very clear before you can understand function overloading. So now we come to the definition of the function overloading. So when there are many function definitions with the same name but different number or type. Type here means the data type of arguments. Arguments can also be called parameters. It is called function overloading. So in other words, we can say that when we have many function definitions with the same name but different type signatures or different number of arguments or different parameters or number or type of parameters, it is called function overloading. Now, if you see this example, we will understand what function overloading is through this example. Here we have three area functions. So if you see, we have three area functions. Here we have this void area here, and if you see, these three functions have the same name. All the three functions are called area, but the first area function is receiving a double parameter. That means there is one parameter and the data type of the parameter is double. The second area function is receiving two integer parameters, okay, L and B, and the third area function is receiving a one integer parameter. So here we have many definitions, function definitions with the same name, but the signature of each area function is different. This one is receiving one int parameter, this one is receiving two int parameters, and this one is receiving a double parameter. So this is function overloading. So here the area function has different signature. So on the basis of signature, we decide the function overloading basically involves different signatures, different method signatures. Okay, so this is very important for you to understand that the name would remain the same, but the signature of each function should be different. Okay, here instead of like one, we already have a double one parameter, one function with a double parameter, so we cannot have another function, area function, with a double parameter, because what is important here is that the number or the type of parameters should be different. Okay, so here in this case, both these functions are receiving one parameter, so the number of parameters is same, but the data type of parameter is different. Here it is receiving one int parameter, and here it is receiving one double parameter. So this is a valid declaration. Okay, now we move on. So we can say that to overload a function, we need to declare and define several functions with the same name but different signatures. And also remember that function overloading implements polymorphism. Okay, which OOPS principle is implemented by function overloading? It is polymorphism. Now, what is the advantage of function overloading? This question is also important, and the program runs faster because the number of comparisons are reduced. So that is the advantage of function overloading. Now here we have taken one more example of function overloading. So if you see, we have a class called test, and within the class test we have a sum method. So we have different versions of sum method here. We have one sum method which receives two integer parameters. We have another sum method which is receiving three integer parameters, int a, int b, int c. And within this method, we have declared a local variable d, and d is storing the sum of a, b, and c. Now we have another sum method which is receiving two double parameters x and y, and we have declared a local variable double z in which we are storing the sum of these parameter variables, and in the next version of sum we have two float parameters x and y, and we have declared a local variable z which is storing the sum of these two. So if you see, the first sum function is receiving two integer parameters. The second sum function is receiving three integer parameters. So the data type of parameters is same in both the methods, but the number of parameters is different. Here it is 3 and here it is 2. So this is a valid declaration. If you see the third function, here we are declaring two double parameters, whereas in the fourth one we have two float parameters. So the number of parameters is same, but the data type of parameters is different. Now because as we understood in the previous video about the parameter variables, the scope of a parameter variable is with these curly braces, the method body. So that is why if you have taken x and y, the double parameters, you can repeat the names. You can have the same names for parameter variables because the scope of the parameter variable is only these curly brackets, so there will not be any conflict. So here also we have x and y, so here also we have x and y. If you see, here also we have a and b, so here also we have a and b. So instead of x and y, you could have taken a and b here, that there would be no conflict because these are parameter variables and the scope of the parameter variable is the method body. And similarly here we have taken the local variable c, so you could have taken, instead of here double z, you could have taken a double c also, because the scope of this c is the method body, so there is no conflict. Okay, so that is what you need to remember. So this is an example of function overloading. Now there's an exercise here, small question. When there are multiple function definitions with the same name, what makes them different from each other? So the answer to this question would be, we can write that it is the function signature which makes them different from each other, or the number and the type of arguments which makes them different from each other. So that's it for this video, and keep watching estudy.in, and please leave your comments in the comment section, and do click on the like button and subscribe to my channel estudy.in, and keep watching estudy.in. Thanks for watching.